Tank Davis is now back in training for the third day. His goal is clear: to fix the mistakes he made in his first fight against Lamont Roach Jr. and win the rematch with no doubts. He's training hard at his gym in Baltimore, staying focused and serious. As always, his longtime coaches Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis are there to guide him.
Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
This time, Tank Davis started training earlier than usual, a clear sign that he's more focused and disciplined. By mid-May, he was already deep into camp, managing his weight and staying focused. Coach Kenny Ellis even said he's ahead of schedule because Davis is already in great shape and looking sharp. The whole team wants no distractions and no delays. Their plan is simple: prepare for all 12 rounds, dominate every moment, and don't rely on just one big punch to win.
The rematches that you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not gonna lie.
One of the main problems from the first fight happened in round 4. Coach Calvin Ford explained that things started going wrong not because of pressure from Lamont Roach Jr., but because of a fixable issue. He said, "We knew the grease in Tank's hair was a problem. The hair product dripped into Davis's eyes, messing up his vision. Even though he kept landing punches, his blurred vision made it hard to defend and react to Roach's countershots." Later, when Tank took a knee in round 9, Ford made it clear it wasn't quitting. It was a smart move to reset and protect himself. The referee made the right call since no punch landed, so it wasn't a knockdown. Tank fought through pain, and the draw was fair, but now they want a rematch to settle things once and for all.
To that rematch.
Well, seeing the first fight, like I said, both of them are great fighters, man. I mean, good fighters too, great fighters. Who gonna have the edge this time?
Yeah.
Not saying he gonna win though, but Lamont.
Why?
He would have way everybody saying that he won. He won the fight. You know what I mean? You know, and then that when he took that knee, that really was supposed to be a disqualification. You know what I mean? And then you can't.
Kenny Ellis also backed this up, saying people misunderstood what happened when Tank Davis took a knee. He didn't break any rules, Ellis said. Everyone keeps asking the same thing and giving their own opinions, but that's just how boxing is. Ellis explained that what most people missed was how Davis kept adjusting, even when things got tough. Lamont's a tough fighter, he said. But Tank was starting to wear him down in the later rounds. The issue with the grease messed things up, but Davis and his team adjusted. Ellis finished by saying, "Roach didn't win, and now we're ready to prove it in the rematch."
It's in June.
Tank Roach, okay, yeah.
I was hoping that it'd just be in the DMV because I feel like that makes the most sense. But now that fight is prime time. When before it was why you fighting them, Tank? Now it's you gotta fight them, Tank.
That fast.
Yeah, right?
That fast.
And that just goes to show you just how fast, like, you could just change, you could turn the odds on the casino. Now Lamont can have his pick of the litter. Like, Shakur could fight Lamont next. Keyshawn could fight Lamont next.
For this rematch, Tank Davis's training camp is built on one belief. He should have won the first fight if he had prepared better and avoided his own mistakes. This time, the team is making sure nothing is left to chance. They're putting a lot of focus on getting Davis to use his jab more, especially early in the fight, something he didn't do enough last time. They've also made sure he throws more punches during sparring, so he doesn't fall into the habit of just looking for one big shot. Roach was able to avoid and counter those single punches in the first fight, so now the team is training Davis to throw combinations, mix up his speed, and control the ring better.
Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye, spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on, ref. You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Yeah.
You know how many
Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he like.
Tank Davis's sparring sessions have been mostly private, but insiders say he's training with fast, technical fighters who fight like Lamont Roach. The goal isn't to show off in the gym, it's to get ready for Roach's style and rhythm. They're focusing on helping Davis cut off the ring so Roach can't move as easily, control distance using his lead hand, and get around Roach's jab to land strong body shots in the first fight. Roach had early success by using movement and angles, but Davis's team believes they've now made the right adjustments to deal with that. Another big focus is mental strength. After the first fight, Davis was frustrated and even said he was tired of boxing. But his coach Calvin Ford and others helped him get back in the right mindset. Now, Ford says Davis is fully focused again.
See who it is. Hey, who is the dude? Who is the dude?
We have a plan, and Davis is following it closely. The team knows it's important to keep Davis focused, especially for this big rematch. They have reduced his media appearances and social media, used to keep him focused on training. Even though Calvin Ford is no longer handling daily training, he is still very involved. He helps with watching fight videos, planning strategies, and is present during sparring. Davis listens to him a lot, and Ford fully supports the way this camp is going. Davis even said, "I got Calvin tattooed on me. Calvin isn't going anywhere. He's like a father to me." This shows how close they are. Inside the camp, there is a strong sense of urgency. Everyone knows that even though the first fight was a draw, many saw it as a mistake on Davis's otherwise great career.
We did how many rounds? We probably did at least like 8 straight.
Yeah, but you in the bag for about 8 too.
Yeah.
That's good. You're not in bad shape.
Yeah. But I just got pick up on one.
The goal now isn't just to win, but to send a strong message. Ellis said, "We're not going to make it close again. The first fight gave Lamont everything he needed or mistakes, a bad night, and he still didn't win. That won't happen again." Nutrition is also a big focus. Davis has kept his weight steady, staying near the lightweight limit. There are no late-night runs or last-minute weight cuts like before. The team hired a professional chef and dietitian to watch his diet and hydration. This shows the whole team is serious and treating this like a must-win fight.
I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in it. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that. But if that was kind of a knockdown, I would win the majority.
Strength and conditioning are a big focus now. Davis is doing early morning runs with an altitude mask, explosive jump drills, and daily core exercises to avoid injuries. The team is working on his endurance, preparing for the chance that Roach wants. To fight for many rounds, they want Davis to keep pressure and stay strong from round 1 to 12 if needed. The coaches have also changed their approach in watching fight videos. Before, Davis could rely on instinct and talent, but now they are training him to use specific counters to Roach's lead hand, timed step-ins, and fake moves to make Roach attack so Davis can counter better. Everything is about taking control, not just waiting for chances.
Lamont Roach for Tank Davis, right? And if I'm being real here, right? The biggest fight for Tank Davis right now is the rematch. And the reason why I say it's the rematch is because everybody said that Tank lost the fight. The majority of fans said that Tank lost that fight because of
As the fight gets closer, Davis's team stays quiet but confident. No loud talk, just focus on doing the work. Calvin Ford said, "We're not making noise this time. We're making changes. This time, more people are watching Davis closely. They want to see if he can make the right mental and tactical changes to prove he's the better fighter and stop doubts from their last fight." Davis still has a perfect record with 30 wins, no losses, and 28 knockouts. But the draw from the first fight made some experts question him.
Lamont Roach for Tank Davis, right? And if I'm being real here, right? The biggest fight for Tank Davis right now is the rematch. And the reason why I say it's the rematch is because everybody said that Tank lost the fight. The majority of fans said that Tank lost that fight because
David Benavidez, the current WBC light heavyweight champion, was very clear about how Davis's mindset could affect the rematch. On the Pound for Pound podcast, Benavidez said the result of the fight depends a lot on how Davis thinks and prepares. He thinks Davis showed too much respect for Roach and even thought about quitting boxing, which affected his performance. Benavidez also said that if the knee Davis took in the 9th round had been counted as a knockdown, Roach might have actually won the fight. This has made people believe Roach has a good chance in the rematch, especially if Davis doesn't bring his best energy.
In my opinion, I could say that Tank edged it if I was judging the fight. I had Tank up by 1 round, but that knockdown took it down a round. So, in my conclusion, I still think it was a draw though. Because I had Tank up by 1-2 rounds. The knockdown, it was all over the place. So I really don't, depending on how the ref take the bout, I think the bout came into a ref hands, honestly.
Did that teach you something about the business of boxing?
Warned that coming into a rematch without the right mindset is very risky. He didn't doubt Davis's skill, but questioned his mental focus. He thinks Davis must leave behind the way he thought during the first fight. Showing too much respect for Roach and talking about retirement were big warning signs. Benavidez also pointed out that Roach's style and rhythm might be hard for Davis because they fought a lot as amateurs before. Because of that history, the fight could be close again unless Davis changes how he gets ready and fights this time.
From that, a lot of people wasn't really feeling that. Do you feel like he'll fight better this next fight?
I think so, for sure. And, you had mentioned that they've known each other since childhood.
Yeah.
So maybe that had something to do with that first fight. But now they've fought, they've gotten that experience out of the way. So I think we're going to see both of them a lot more locked in.
Way better, yeah. Definitely more locked in. Can you see this being a knockout on both fighters' side?
Thinks Roach will perform well again and surprise many people. Jones believes Roach's first fight wasn't just luck, but Jones expects Davis to come back with a new attitude, more serious, aggressive, and focused. He thinks Davis will change how he fights to avoid a close fight this time. If Davis changes his mindset and motivation, Jones says the rematch will be faster and more intense. Jones still thinks Roach will do well, but in the end, Davis will take control of the fight.
I think Gervonta had a bad night. I look for a tough fight in the next fight, but I still see Gervonta winning. I think Gervonta will win in a little easier this time. But Roach is a heck of a fighter. He's going to give everybody a hard, anybody that fights is going to give a hard time. But I do think that Davis had an off night.
I spoke to Eddie Hearn and he said he wanted to make the Shakur Tank fight straight away. Obviously now Tank's going into the rematch. That won't happen yet. But when it does happen, Eddie's still adamant that could happen this year.
Promoter Eddie Hearn thinks the rematch will be even bigger than the first fight. It's not just because of the controversy, but because now there's a real rivalry. Hearn says the first fight changed things and got more fans interested. He believes Davis will be more focused this time, but Hearn doesn't think it will be easy for Davis. The rematch will be tough for both fighters, both physically and mentally. Hearn isn't the only one who thinks this way. When a fight ends in a draw and one fighter didn't perform well, while the other did better than expected, it creates tension. Hearn says the first fight showed that Davis might not be as dominant as people thought, and Roach's confidence will grow. He expects Davis to improve, but also thinks Roach will come stronger too.
He got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. Oh my God. But God damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
One of the best technical boxers in the world and the current WBC lightweight champion is paying close attention to the rematch. He's interested not just because the fight is important, but because the winner might face him next, Stevenson's. Predictions come from real experience, not just guesses. He has sparred with Roach and knows how hard Roach trains for fights. He strongly disagrees with the idea that Davis will easily beat Roach in the rematch. Stevenson says this fight is not just an easy comeback for Davis. It will be a real challenge.
Look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style, with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So.
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch?
Stevenson said, "I'm not like everyone else who thinks it's just a rematch and Davis will easily knock Roach out or make it easy. He doesn't see it that way. Stevenson thinks Roach is a serious and skilled fighter who can compete at a high level. He even bet that the first fight would last all rounds because he didn't believe Roach would get the win, no matter how well he fought. This shows how much Stevenson respects Roach's toughness and readiness. Because of this, Stevenson believes the rematch will also be a long fight, and Davis will need to push harder than usual."
Who do you feel like wins the rematch?
Who wins the rematch?
Yeah.
They're both gonna come ready again. See, the first one was a tough one too. I think I had Lamont pulling off. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, smudge. Like I wasn't mad at the draw. You know, I'm gonna rock with Lamont though.
Think Lamont takes it?
It's hard.
Close, yo.
Because Lamont surprised me a lot. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna say Lamont, man.
Lamont takes it.
Because Davis can't think the same way he did before. He needs to be 100% focused and better than ever. This means Davis can't just do a little better than last time, he has to do way better. Stevenson believes Roach will be even stronger and ready. So, Davis needs to change his whole game, not just make small fixes.
No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie.
All the predictions sound different, but they agree on one thing. Gervonta Davis can't fight the same way he did before, whether it's Benvid saying Davis lacked killer, Instinct Roy Jones Jr. saying Roach is ready, but Davis will bounce back. Eddie Hearn, warning the rematch will be harder than people think, or Shakur Stevenson saying it won't be an easy fight. Everyone agrees. This fight is tough for Davis. He needs to change his mind, body, and strategy completely. Nobody in boxing is ignoring Roach. Some experts even think Roach could beat Davis if Davis doesn't fix his mistakes. The rematch isn't just a regular title fight now. It's a big test of who really has the champion's mindset. These predictions from top fighters and promoters aren't just talk. They're warnings Avis needs to listen to if he wants to stay undefeated and get bigger fights. Right now, the outcome is uncertain and no one is counting. Roach out. What do you think? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe.